Google Hangouts are a free, interesting way to have video chats with coworkers on the Google Plus platform. A lot of people use Skype for video conferencing these days, so you may not have known Google had that functionality. But joining Hangout chats on Google is pretty easy, as long as you have a webcam-enabled device, a good internet connection, and a Google Plus app to log in. I use these here at GovTech for our GovTech Innovator Show, where I interview business and government pros who use technology creatively to solve problems. I think Google Hangouts are a good way to connect with others, but the experience isn't foolproof. On the plus side, Google Hangouts are pretty easy to hold and participate in with coworkers. Someone logs into their Google Plus ID to create the Hangout, and then he or she sends messages to invite others to participate. A convenient way to have staff meetings. That's pretty convenient, because most people have access to these technologies at work, but it's also where most of the problems can occur. Google Hangouts are connection dependent, so those with slower connections can cause audio and video slowdowns or complete drop-offs, even during the chat. It's best to make sure you're on a fast or wired connection beforehand. You could spend the whole Hangout just getting people up to speed and addressing these problems, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to hold a test Hangout before the actual one. There are a few reasons why you'd use Google Hangouts though. The first involves the user interface. In the video chat window, the camera switches to the face of whoever's speaking at the time. So Google Hangouts are more dynamic and attention-grabbing than they would be if the screen was static the whole time. And second, the Hangout initiator can record the Hangouts live, and the chat is automatically uploaded to the initiator's YouTube feed. This spares you from paying for editing or recording software. Google Hangouts are worth it for their convenience, but if you do a lot of them, you'll eventually run into some technical difficulties. Someone's bound to have a poor connection, and there will always be users who are unprepared for the experience. And lastly, since Google Hangouts are hosted by Google and not your own software, you're out of luck if Google itself ever has technical difficulties while you're chatting. To see some Google Hangouts in action, check out my GovTech Innovator series on GovTech's YouTube channel.